Hey there. My name is Lauren, and I'm bringing you this BizBite on behalf of the Small Business Development Center at Lorain County Community College, aka the SBDC at LCCC. Hopefully you're back because you enjoy usable, digestible, real content in 5 minutes or less from a source you trust. So let's get started. I'm here today to continue our conversation about why you should conduct market research. If you missed those videos, check out our previous BizBites to get all caught up. Now that we have a better idea of who the customer is, I want to give you some tips to test your product and service with that customer to make it even better and to make sure you're meeting customer needs and wants. Last time, I introduced a few ways to communicate with and learn from your customer. One of those ways was with testing. Testing is a technique we can use to make sure we know what the customer needs and wants from us. Just because you think you're selling the best thing since sliced bread doesn't mean the customer agrees. And if the customer doesn't agree that you're onto something, you're not. Let's dig a little deeper into a few testing techniques and how to broach them with the customer to make sure you're on the right track. 1. Prototype testing. 2. Surveys and polls. 3. Focus groups. 4. Mock sales. Let's start with our first testing technique, which is prototype testing. Prototype testing is exactly what it sounds like. It's the process of testing a prototype with real users to validate decisions before development starts. So what's a prototype? That depends on your industry. It's a sample, a simplified design, or a mock-up of the future or final product. Depending on your industry, a prototype might be a sample of your cosmetic product, complete with packaging and labeling, a sample of your food product, complete with packaging and labeling, a complete and usable version of your crafted product, decoration, invention, tool, stationery, whatever. And for a service business, a prototype might be a functional website to demonstrate the service or a map of the customer journey and experience with that service. So how do we prototype? How do we prototype test? You would test your prototype the same way Auntie Anne's tests their newest culinary creations. You let actual potential customers try them and record the results for product or service improvement. Examples would be, let the customer interact with your cosmetic to offer up what works, what doesn't, what they like and dislike about the product and the packaging. Same thing with a food product. For a handmade product, let the customer engage with or at least view the craft, decoration, invention, tool, or stationery to get feedback. And for your service business, let the customer engage with the website to offer feedback or walk them through the service journey to get feedback on the future user experience. The next testing technique we're going to talk about is surveys and polls. They're an effective way of getting general feedback from many people in a short period of time. However, they're especially useful if you know what to ask in order to get valuable feedback. Building a survey and poll has to do with learning from your current or future customers, and you need to have an objective. What are you trying to determine from this particular poll or survey? Once you have an objective in mind, the questions will be much easier to come by. Here are a few examples of objectives for a survey and poll. To gauge interest or determine demand, to determine customer purchasing habits, or to test customer likes and dislikes. So how do you conduct a survey or poll once you have the questions? There are several online techniques you can use that will guide you through the process, including PickFu, Facebook, Google Forms, and SurveyMonkey, just to name a few, where you can even conduct surveys and polls in person. The next method is focus groups. Focus groups are a combination of group interviews and customer observation. Using focus groups, we can learn from the customer directly and interactively by asking them questions about the product or service and witnessing how they interact with the product or user journey. Your focus group should go something like this. First, show and tell. Provide the group with an overview of the business, product, or service. 2, customer interaction. Give the group opportunity to ask questions, engage with the concept, and offer input. And finally, and most importantly, gather data and feedback on this experience. Ask questions, capture answers and insights, and search for patterns, customer groups, and needs that emerge as a result of the focus group. And finally, a few tips on conducting a good focus group. Listen more than you talk. Get facts, not opinions. Ask why. And remember, the goal is about learning, not selling. The last method we'll talk about for testing is mock sales. Once you have a prototype of your product or service, you can conduct mock sales to see how the imitation sales process goes over with the customer, how it could be changed, and how it could be improved. This is an opportunity to use the prototype you may have already developed in step 1. Now for a homework assignment. Before you can do anything else, you need to determine what you want to test. You could do all of these tests, but consider which one is best suited to your business, your customer, and what you're trying to learn. Here are some examples of what you can test before sinking in more money, energy, and time to the business. Test to better understand customer needs and wants. Test to gauge interest or demand. Test the user or customer experience. Test existing features or new feature ideas. Test customer likes and dislikes. Test to determine existing competitors or alternative solutions. Test your pricing strategy. Finally, test to discover how customers currently shop for or find this type of product or service. Start by listing all the things you wish you could learn from your customer. Pick 3 of the ones that stand out the most and devise a test to get that question answered. Next thing you know, you'll be testing out ideas, products, services, and concepts with the best of them. And if you need help getting your ideas tested, remember that the SBDC is here for you. That's all I have for today. Along with more BizBites in the coming weeks, we'll be offering an hour-long market research workshop so you can get your hands dirty and get into the swing of market research for real. If you enjoyed this BizBite, please like and share and follow the SBDC for more like this. See you next time.